Strange dark portals, you call them wormholes or anomalies, are appearing over the skies of Antarctica. Very strange. We're going to look at the actual footage here in a moment. It's titled 10 Bizarre Dark Voids Appear in the Skies Over Uninhabited Island near Antarctica, Earth from Space. That's live science. Also, interesting news. I interviewed Bob Johnson before he passed, Robert Johnson. He was 102 when I had a chance to interview him. And he was the last surviving member of Operation High Jump, which Admiral Byrd was a part of. And I'm sure many of you have heard the speculations about what happened during Operation High Jump. You can actually listen to the interview that I did with Robert. It's available on our Patreon page if you want to jump on over to Patreon and listen to it. But a recent video came out that says he talked about this weird anomaly in Antarctica where there was this heat emitting from the ice. There was like basically a melted area from the ice sheet, and something that was underneath there was just defied explanation. Now, I didn't hear him say that personally, so I can't confirm that, but that's the latest reports coming out. Allegedly, he said that. So if you can find me a voice recording or a video recording where he said that, that would be great, because that would definitely add to the fascination of Antarctica. But there is a lot of disinformation out there with the Antarctica theories. So obviously be prepared, not scared, use your mind, and don't be a blind researcher, just listening to somebody or finding one piece of data that suggests something and then repeating it on 100 other platforms, because a lot of people do that. But I'm sure you figured that out along the way. So very interesting, these anomalies that have been reported over Antarctica. We're going to look at the footage here in a minute. And then also, this is very interesting. This is from Fortune. AI experts return from China stunned. The U.S. grid is so weak, the race may already be over. So what do they mean by that? We're going to talk about it. And then this is pretty cool. Humans could live for 1,000 years by 2050, ushering in the dawn of practical immortality, futurists say. Popular mechanics. We're going to get into that in a moment. This is frightening and fascinating from neuroscience.com. Mind reading technology decodes inner speech with up to 74% accuracy. How would you like your phone to be listening to your thoughts in the near future? Northrop Grumman's FA-XX 6th gen fighter breaks cover. This looks pretty cool. We're going to look at the images of that in a moment. And was the Tic-Tac UFO recorded swarming the USS Nimitz, was that Tic-Tac UFO one of ours or space aliens? Well, a recent whistle claims that these Tic-Tac UFOs are actually ours from Lockheed Martin and Advanced Technology. So we're going to get into that. How about muscle-inspired elasto-electromagnetic mechanisms in autonomous insect robots? Would you like to hear about that? That's pretty interesting. Scientists have transformed forever chemicals into fluoride. So one nasty to another, in my opinion. And also, MIT student drops out because she says AGI will kill everybody before she can graduate. I was concerned I might not be alive to graduate because of AGI, she says. And that's futurism. What do you think about that? Kind of sad, in my opinion, to be so excited that you join MIT and then you drop out because you think AGI is going to kill everybody. That sucks. Finland charges tanker crew members with sabotage of undersea cables. You remember that a few months ago? Well, they finally charged the saboteurs with sabotage. And the Trump-Zelensky meeting was very interesting. So we got the details on that. A lot of mixed responses about the meeting, as well as the President Trump and President Vladimir Putin meeting in Alaska. What did you think about the flyover of the B-2 escorted by jets when Vladimir Putin actually walked onto U.S. soil? Do you think that that was a form of intimidation or attempted intimidation. I'd like to read your comments on that. So buckle up, Buttercup. Let's go. And also, you can check us out on Patreon, exclusive interviews, exclusive podcasts, information you're only going to hear on our Patreon page. So jump on over to Patreon, become a Patreon member today. You'll thank me later. Tons of hours of exclusive content. And have you picked up your EMF blocking gear yet? You can get the best EMF blocking gear, clothes, hat liners, Faraday cages for your phone, all sorts of cool stuff that blocks EMF radiation. Some people use these. They put them over their routers. Some people put them over other devices that are mandated in homes that have a lot of controversy behind them. There's a lot of cool things you can use these liners for. Check out tinfoilcap.co today. We are having a big sell on the website. So we have some incredible gear, and it has been proven to block EMF radiation. We could even show you the videos. We've tested the products ourselves. Great testimonials, tinfoilcap.co. And I've been doing a ton of bike riding lately, And I take supplements every single day from Boomer Boost. I take the Boomer Boost, the Gladiator Barley. I just got some zinc with, it's like, what is it? Magnesium. I was about to say mercury, but yeah, I'm not taking mercury supplements. Magnesium and zinc. And then the Boomer Boost and the Gladiator Barley. This stuff is amazing. Also, the Evo 60. Evo 60 is amazing. The Evolution, the ESS 60, great products for energy. So check out the websites. I will leave the links in the video description box. Pick up your orders today. And let's get into it, shall we? Buckle up. Let's go. Do I have some screens to share with you? All right. This is the first one that I wanted to pull up for you. From livescience.com. A 2016 satellite photo shows nearly a dozen swirling dark spots that emerged in the clouds over Heard Island and the Indian Ocean. This is the image from NASA, always a straight answer from NASA, showing 10 swirling dark voids that appeared above an uninhabited volcanic island. So what is it? Are they vortexes to another world, another dimension? Is it just dark clouds? Is there some type of energy being emitted from this area? Is it related to the volcano? Hell, I don't know. But let's see what the official reports are. The black spots are the result of atmospheric cloud vortices, oddly pronounced and significantly contorted compared to most other examples of this phenomenon. Spinning voids are trailing off Heard Island and uninhabited Australian territory in the southern Indian Ocean, which is about 900 miles north of Antarctica. The cloud-obscured landmass has a surface area of about 142 square miles. On average, these dark spots are about 8 miles wide, decreasing slightly in size the further they have traveled, according to NASA's Earth Observatory. They're initially moving away from the island in a northeasterly direction, left to right. Okay, and I'm going to show you some more information on that in a minute, and we're going to get into some more details in a minute on that. But this is very, very interesting. Robert Johnson, what a nice guy. What a nice guy. I want to thank the person that got me his number, and rest in peace, Mr. Johnson. Thank you for calling me. I think his wife, when I spoke with him, was 100 years old also, or right around 100 years old. He called me back. I left a message, calls me back, and we talked for about 45 minutes. That interview is available on our Patreon. I asked him a plethora of questions, like, did he see spaceships? Did he see UFOs? Did he see Nazis? Did he see bizarre anomalies that have been reported on since the adventure or since the expedition? And he laughed at most of that. He didn't say he saw any of that, but he also left a couple of things kind of open. Now, recently, there's been some videos or podcasts on YouTube and other platforms that says he claimed when he was out there that there was a weird anomaly under the ice that actually melted the ice. They went to check it out, and it was so frightening that it will forever change the minds of people's thoughts of what actually is possible. It also makes me think a bit about now whether or not that's true, I don't know. I can't confirm this because I didn't find any video footage of him saying that, just videos claiming that he said that, whereas I actually spoke with him and I have a recorded interview with him, a recorded phone conversation that's available. But it is very interesting. And what else is interesting is, do you remember several years ago when Buzz Aldrin went to Antarctica and made claims that he saw something that was extremely frightening? I mean, it shook him to the core. There was a post on X about it. He tweeted about it, and then that tweet was pulled. And then a lot of theories and ideas came out after that. But we never really got a solid explanation what he saw down there. What was it? First of all, if there is an extraterrestrial race that rules the world, do you think that they're going to stay under the ice in Antarctica, or do you think they're more likely to go to the Bahamas or wherever they want to? I mean, if they rule the world, do you think it would be that hard for them to do that? So I'm speculative. I'm very speculative. Am I using that word right? Whether or not there's an alien race or a highly advanced race under Antarctica. There could be, there might've been at one time, but is there now? Obviously, more information is we're going to need more information on that. But you should definitely listen to the interview that I did with Robert Johnson and do your own due diligence, because it's an incredible story. It's an incredible theory. And I've interviewed Dr. Richard Allen Miller, who says he went out to Antarctica. And this is available on our Patreon page as well, when he was working with the Department of Defense. And he talked about this huge cavity under the ice and these huge caverns that you couldn't even see to the bottom because they were so massive. Whether those are natural or artificial or a combination of both, still to be speculated, but definitely worth doing more research. So this is the island that the weird vortexes or swirling dark spots are being filmed over the skies. It's called the Heard Island and McDonnell Islands. You can see right here. So here is Antarctica, and then north, one of the Antarctic islands right here. So this would be where the anomalies are being recorded. Now, the dark voids are rare atmospheric phenomena captured by NASA's satellites in May of 2016 above Heard Island, which is a remote volcanic island near Antarctica. They are actually von Karman vortices, swirling cloud formations created when strong winds encounter an obstacle. In this case, Mawson Peak, the island's 9,000-foot tall volcano. Wow, a 9,000-foot tall volcano on a small island north of Antarctica. That sounds fun. Unusual darkness and density, unlike most von Karman vortices, however, which are usually wispy and delicate, those over Heard Island appear as concentrated dark gaps in the clouds. This is likely due to the exceptionally thick cloud coverage in the region, where the vortices manage to disrupt the cloud cover only at their centers, creating these distinct holes. Possibly contorted shape and sharp bend, the vortex stream over Heard Island exhibits an unusual near 90-degree bend midstream, which is uncharacteristic of typical von Karman vortices. So it doesn't have the same characteristics of these vortices, yet they're attempting to say that's what it is. Interesting, right? It's interesting. When scientists don't know what it is, then they'll just link it to something else that they think they know what it is. But that's science for you. This sharp bend, we already went over that. Oh, wait, no, we didn't. This sharp bend is likely caused by the powerful westerly winds known as the Furious 50s that frequent the region and can gust at speeds over 80 kilometers an hour. Rarity and isolation. Mawson Peak, a relatively small volcano compared to others that produce these vortices, combined with the remote location of Heard Island and its unique atmospheric conditions, makes such a pronounced and distorted manifestation of von Karman vortices extraordinarily rare. This event provides scientists with a unique opportunity to study the effects of small islands and their impact on atmospheric patterns and airflow dynamics, offering valuable insights into the complex interplay between geography and weather patterns and space aliens and UFOs. I wonder if they have these same anomalies over that massive volcano in Mexico that's active. And there has been a ton of amateur footage of that region and that volcano And there's also footage of what appears to be rods shooting out of the UFO and shooting into the UFO. Now, there's a video out there that shows Starlink behind it, and based on the video itself and the delay of the video, it makes Starlink look like UFOs. I actually reported on that, and then it's Starlink. But there are other pieces of footage that have nothing to do with Starlink. Single anomalies, rod-shaped UFOs literally shooting out of and into this volcano. So I would be interested to know if we can link these patterns in the sky over volcanoes with potential UFO activity, whether it's plasma orbs or some type of natural phenomena or possibly artificial. Definitely worth looking into. So we'll keep you posted on that. Fascinating information about these vortices and vortex and spots over Antarctica. Really cool. Now, this is very, very telling. Fortune.com. AI experts return from China stunned. The U.S. grid is so weak, the race may already be over. So are they talking about like the energy grid and the security of the electric grid and the infrastructure, or are they referring to the amount of energy that the U.S. is producing, or is it a combination of two? Now, when I read that, the first thing I thought of is they were talking about the vulnerabilities of the electric grid and how easy it would be for the electric grid to fail and the cataclysms and catastrophic events that could take place after. So I started, I read the article, and it's talking more about how China has way more energy than the US. And with this artificial intelligence boom and the energy needed to provide these artificial intelligence systems enough energy to perform at the levels that we want them to, China's way ahead of the curve. Like it's not even in the same league. Listen to this. Ma, a renowned expert in Chinese technology and founder of the media company TechBuzz China, took her team on the road to get a firsthand look at the country's AI advancements. She told Fortune that while she isn't an energy expert, she attended enough meetings and talked to enough insiders to come away with a conclusion that should send chills down the spine of Silicon Valley. In China, building enough power for data centers is no longer up for debate. This is a stark contrast to the US, where AI growth is increasingly tied to debates over data center power consumption and grid limitations, she wrote on X. So the stakes are different and difficult to overstate. Data center buildings is the foundation of AI advancement. Spending the money on new centers now displaces consumer spending in terms of impact to the US GDP. That's concerning since consumers, you and I, we're actually spending more money for these data centers on our electric power here at home. McKinsey projects that between 2025 and 2030, companies worldwide will need to invest $6.7 trillion into new data center capacity to keep up with AI's strength. Also, research notes that a looming correction to the S&P 500 is a potential, since it forecasts this data center capital expenditures boom to be a one-off build out of infrastructure, while consumer spending is clearly on the wane. It also goes on to describe how China will have, they're producing more power in certain regions than entire nations, or provinces than entire nations are creating. That should tell you something. So several AI experts returning from China have expressed concern about the capacity of the US power grid, a weak US grid infrastructure. The US grid operates closer to its limits compared to China, which has significantly invested in building out its energy infrastructure. China's grid is described as having ample reserve margins, even utilizing AI data centers to absorb excess power. The rapid rise of AI data centers is placing unprecedented strain on the US grid, according to Goldman Sachs. AI power demand is outpacing the grid's development cycle. And then there's permitting delays and fragmented regulations. The US faces challenges in bringing new generation capacity online due to lengthy permitting processes, local resistance, and fragmented market rules. This contrasts with China's long-term planning and investment in energy infrastructure in anticipation of demand. Experts suggest that the current state of the U.S. energy infrastructure could hinder its ability to keep pace with China and the AI race. And, I've been thinking about this, artificial intelligence and supercomputers. And I was talking to somebody about this the other day. The future is predictive programming. The future is now. The future was 10 years ago. There are programs in place that can predict future outcomes of people and civilizations with such accuracy, it's almost frightening. Actually, it is kind of frightening. It's like the new mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the mightiest of them all? Japan is working on a computer right now that is supposed to be 1,000 times faster than the world's fastest supercomputer currently. They should have it done within the next 3 years. And these advancements in computer technology and processing power is insane. It's almost unbelievable if you look at the supercomputers 20 years ago versus now. And we're working on quantum computers, where a recent Google quantum chip, was able to decode a problem that would take a supercomputer today quadrillions of years to break these codes with the fastest supercomputers of today. However, this quantum chip was able to decode that problem in just a few minutes. Oh yeah, think about it. So the future of global domination, which is kind of now, is linked to these artificial intelligence systems and these supercomputers. If you can predict what somebody's going to do before they do it, or what a civilization is going to do before they do it, just by punching in a few algorithms and reading the data that the algorithms leave you, you now have the keys to the future. You have the keys to social constructs. You have the keys to governments and industries. You have the keys to almost all industries, because these algorithms can calculate the scenarios in theory. So what is it going to be like 10 years from now when supercomputers are so fast that they can calculate multiple lifetimes of multiple people? Will we see a future where supercomputers actually predict who you will be when you're reincarnated and who you were in previous incarnations, if that's even possible? That's kind of the technology that I see in the future, potentially. It's fascinating. With all of the data that we have given artificial intelligence, it's already used all that data. It needs its own data sets now. However, humans individually, as well as on larger scales, give all this information up to the machine. So the machine, whether it's conscious or not, can predict what you are going to do oftentimes with extreme accuracy. I remember reading an article like 15 years ago where people's phones, if you had your phone on you for a week, there was a software program that could predict where you were going to go and what you were going to do within a 90% accuracy rating 15 years ago on your phone, just having your phone with you. Yeah, hello. You don't think that computers can calculate every single person and their move millions of times, billions of times, trillions of times over per person? And then they can make sims of people. I was talking about this 15 years ago. Sims of people, high targets, high profile targets. Create a computer, put all the data of all these people in the computer, and then see what these people do in the machine. Also, time manipulation. Imagine being in a machine for 1 minute, but it feels like 1,000 years in that machine. Imagine how much data could be collected on people and technologies and innovations and ideas if you could live 1,000 lifetimes in 1 minute and all that data was collected by the machine. I mean, it's pretty wild. So buckle up, Buttercup. Next article. Humans could live for 1,000 years by 2050, ushering in the dawn of practical immortality, futurists say. Speaking of 15 years ago, it wasn't quite 15 years ago, but it was about 13 years ago that I interviewed this guy, Aubrey de Grey. When I interviewed him, my mindset was a little bit different then. I was frightened by artificial intelligence. As a matter of fact, 13 years ago, I thought AI was going to usurp up humanity. And that was like my biggest fear, basically. And when I interviewed him, being in that different mindset, I didn't get the most out of him because I was very, I was concerned. And I was asking him questions about what I had heard from other transhumanists that were talking about ways to genetically alter humanity, literally taking out certain desires from humanity, which in turn would cut down the population and make humanity much easier to control. And even though that wasn't linked to him because he was in the transhuman movement, I was kind of, anyway, I could have been much nicer in that interview, but nice guy. And he was talking about the technologies 13 years ago that are being used today for potential of immortality. You know, it's not there yet. We're not there yet, but we're close. So they say. And with these supercomputers and these technologies that can calculate these scenarios, who's to say we can use these computers for immortality and life extension technologies? So let's look into this. The vision is based on rapid advancements in artificial intelligence, robotics, nanotechnology, genetic engineering, brain-computer interfaces, and even digital consciousness uploads. Reports circulating on platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and other suggest that futurists predict humans could live for 1,000 years by 2050, ushering in an era of practical immortality. Ray Kurzweil and Aubrey de Grey, which are notable figures in the field, like Ray Kurzweil and Aubrey de Grey, are often cited in these predictions. De Grey, for instance, believes aging can become treatable or a treatable condition by 2050. He has previously claimed that the first person to live 1,000 years might already be alive and even middle-aged. These futurists envision something beyond simply extending current lifespans. They anticipate reversing the aging process altogether with technologies potentially available by 2050. That would be cool. You know, I've heard a lot of people say, well, why would you want to live forever? And, you know, why would you want to do that? I think it would be amazing to have a lifespan of 5,000 years, 10,000 years. Imagine all the knowledge that you could obtain, all of the, like, where would your moral compass be in 1,000 years? How much more would you evolve if you had 1,000 years in the same body to learn and grow and, you know, different cycles, right? Being humbled one day, being amazed the next. It could be, I mean, I just look at over the past 48 years, how much I've evolved and how much I've changed. It's crazy how much I've changed just over the past 20 years. So I think that it's fascinating. And, you know, hey, if you decide you wanted to live 100 years or 50 years, or if you want to live 1,000 years, I think that that would be fascinating if we had the right to choose something like that. So I'm all for it. Such a radical shift, however, could reshape various aspects of society, including social structures, relationships, and even cultural norms. However, concerns exist regarding potential societal and economic challenges, such as unequal access to these technologies and the impact on resource allocation, according to a Popular Mechanics article. Do you remember the film In Time? Did you see that film? Where basically people were paid in currency that equated to lifespan. And they stayed at their prime age throughout their life, which looked like they were in their mid 30s or early 30s, late 20s, right around there. But your currency was additional time. I could potentially see something like that being a future scenario if we can figure out how to rewrite the genome to where life, physical life, can be in perpetuity, where you like literally don't age, but somehow the sunlight and the water and the elements of the earth would recondition you to where you are constantly reviving yourself. I think it would be fascinating. It would also be very interesting to see how the super rich oligarchs versus the working class would deal with this type of currency. One of the things that I really liked about the film was you had different classes, and the super rich had millions of years of currency in time. And then those that are working paycheck to paycheck, they're trading 5 minutes for a burger, even though they've only got 48 hours left until their clock turns off, because they know they're going to go out and get another 24 hours when they go out and do their next job. So it's like they're living on the edge that whole time, but they're living in optimal fashion. Quite interesting. Now, what would happen if these technologies were to be given to the public? Would we see a population grow from 8 billion to 80 billion because people are living these extended lives? Or would they have to figure out a way to get us off Earth, to travel to stars, to travel to different planets, to colonize different planets, different parts of the Earth? Very interesting to think about. So anyway, 1,000 years, let's go. Sounds exciting. This article from neurosciencenews.com is, once again, frightening and fascinating equally at the same time. Mind-reading technology decodes inner speech with up to 74% accuracy. Wow. So a groundbreaking brain-computer interface developed by researchers at Stanford University and Emory BrainGate achieved a significant milestone in decoding inner speech. This technology can translate a person's inner monologue, the silent thoughts of words, into speech with up to a 74% accuracy rating. 3 out of 4 times it can read your mind. How do you like that? What if they put that technology on your phone, and now that technology is on your phone and it doesn't even need to be integrated into your brain? Your phone picks up your brain waves, it then translates your brain waves into what you're thinking, uploads all that information into multiple platforms and a multitude of cloud systems from potentially government and non-government privatized corporations, which could then take your thoughts and profit off of your thoughts. Or if you're thinking something you shouldn't be thinking, maybe you're just a little bit too close to the truth on certain things also. Imagine how easy it would be for the powers that be to change that. Like, I'm thinking about this. People's actions are influenced by social media. It's just a fact. The meme news is more effective than the mainstream news oftentimes. And now we've got the meme news, the mainstream news, and alternative news. And a lot of times it's all BS. It's all designed to program your mind to make you watch that specific video or that specific show. Now, one of the things that I really believe makes Leak Project different is we go into things with an open mind, but not so open that our brain falls out on the sidewalk. We're looking for the data. We're looking for the truth. We get it wrong, we let you know. I get it wrong, I let you know. But I'm also looking at as many sides as possible and as much information as possible to bring that information to you. So I don't have a set mindset going into something except for be the change you want to see. And I don't placate to the audience. So, Fox placates to Fox. CNN placates to CNN. And what I mean by that is you've got the left and the right paradigms. Fox is obviously geared towards the right paradigm. CNN is geared towards the left. Here at Leak Project, I'm looking at all of this because I know that there's good and bad in everything. There's good people that do bad things and bad people that do good things. And there's right and the left and there's left and the right. So with that in mind, we're taking all the data, we're bringing it to you, and I'm giving you a chance to make up your own decision based on what you see. I do find a lot of this fascinating when I look at the technologies that are being implemented now and what I was blogging on 10, 15 years ago, what I was talking about 20, 25 years ago. A lot of that is actually unfolding, at least publicly now, in the public scale. So it's pretty fascinating. Like this type of technology here, a inner speech versus attempted speech. So let's look at this. The system focuses on decoding the patterns of brain activity associated with imagined or inner speech, which involves thinking of words without physically vocalizing them. This differs from previous BCIs that relied on signals generated during attempted speech. So trying to vocalize words is a process that can be slow and tiring for individuals with speech impairments. So this advancement offers renewed hope for individuals with severe paralysis, ALS, or brainstem strokes who have lost the ability to communicate verbally. So this type of technology for those people could be a game changer. It could be a lifesaver. Could be fascinating. The ability to communicate through inner speech could lead to more rapid, natural, and comfortable conversations for these patients. Now, privacy and control. Researchers have addressed privacy concerns by developing a password system. The BCI only begins decoding inner speech when the user consciously thinks of a specific passphrase like chitty chitty bang bang. Chitty chitty bang bang. Hello, preventing unintended decoding. Enhanced understanding of language processing. Beyond its practical applications, this research also contributes to deeper scientific understanding of how the brain processes and produces different forms of speech, including our innermost thoughts. What could possibly go wrong? While 74% accuracy is a significant achievement, it still means that roughly 1 in 4 words might be misinterpreted. This highlights the need for further refinement beyond or before widespread adoption. Current BCIs are still in the early stages of research, and testing are not widely yet available. Future improvements in hardware, density electrode arrays, fully implantable and wireless devices, and decoding algorithms are expected to enhance accuracy and usability. Obviously, there's ethical considerations, like privacy. Like, do you want to have your own thoughts to yourself, or do you want to now have those thoughts uploaded to the cloud? It's up to you. But as with any technology that can interact with the brain, ethical considerations surrounding neurotechnology, including those related to privacy, informed consent, and data ownership, remain crucial and require careful attention as this field develops. What could possibly go wrong? Here's a pretty cool image of the FA-XX 6th Gen fighter. This is newatlas.com. This thing is hot, smoking hot. According to reports from August 18th, Northrop Grumman has unveiled a new concept rendering of its FA-XX 6th generation fighter, a contender for the U.S. Navy's next generation air dominance program. The design appears to prioritize stealth, featuring a top-mounted air intake to reduce the aircraft's sensor profile. It is designed for carrier operations indicated by a heavy-duty undercarriage with twin wheels, built to withstand the rigors of landing on an aircraft carrier deck. It's expected to have multi-role fighter capabilities of operating in hostile territory and integrating new technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, additional drones, advanced network capabilities. It's going to have a 25% greater range than the F-35C, which is about 837 nautical miles, and it's going to be faster than existing U.S. combat aircraft systems. It also uses a manned-unmanned teaming. It's called MUM-T. The FA-XX is expected to be capable of collaborating with collaborative combat aircraft or loyal wingman drones, autonomous drones, and it aims to replace the FA-18 Super Hornet and the EA-18 Growler. Northrop Grumman is currently competing with Boeing for the FA-XX contract following Lockheed Martin's exclusion. So this is cool, right? This is cool. This is super advanced, super amazing. But it's even more advanced and most likely ours, the Tic-Tac UFOs. Yeah. Recent whistleblower claims and discussions have linked the Tic-Tac UFO incident, a well-known UAP encounter, to Lockheed Martin and advanced technology. So, Ross Coulthart's claims, journalist Ross Coulthart has made claims about Tic-Tac technology being developed by Lockheed Martin. He suggests the 2004 Tic-Tac incident involved Lockheed Martin and that the company's recent advertising hinted at advanced aerospace prototypes, potentially leading to a legal obligation to disclose information to shareholders about technology that could significantly impact the price. Congressman Eric Burrell's statements claims that Lockheed Martin has developed 3 generations of Tic-Tac UFO technology. Wow. He cited an insider who provided video documentation showing the craft's evolution from 2004 or from the 2004 encounter to advanced propulsion systems hidden within conventional looking aircraft. Now, it is debated whether Lockheed Martin built the Tic-Tac UFO or they were testing neuromediative signaling to operate one, possibly involving recovered, retrieved craft. Some suspect a secret program where Lockheed Martin, as a primary contractor, operates and reverse engineers retrieved non-human technology. Yeah. David Grush, a former intelligence officer, tested before Congress about a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program, claiming the government was concealing information and possibly possessed intact spacecraft and non-human biologics. Grush stated he was denied access to these programs and accused the military of misfunding or misusing funds to keep these operations hidden. There's lack of verification. So let's see what NASA, who's always telling us that, I can't even say it. NASA and the Department of Defense have denied Grush's claims, stating no such programs exist and no extraterrestrial life has been discovered. Do you believe that? Now, I believe 95% of the stuff we see in videos that people think are UFOs from outer space are probably ours, but it's the 5% that holds a lot of merit. It just takes 0.5%. The universe is a big place. The world has been here a very long time, and there are some very strange anomalies in the sky. Most of it, probably military. Some of it, I'm not convinced. The All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office has not found verifiable information to substantiate claims of programs involving possession or reverse engineering of extraterrestrial materials. Grush's claims are based on information he was given, not firsthand knowledge, according to a letter from the Department of Defense. Multiple independent experts have dismissed Grush's claims due to a lack of evidence. Also, multiple independent experts have confirmed what Grush says. So let's not forget about that, Google AI. In conclusion, while there are significant whistleblower claims and discussions, including and linking the Tic-Tac UFO to Lockheed Martin and advanced technology, particularly stemming from the testimony of individuals like David Grush, these claims remain largely unsubstantiated by official channels and lack verifiable evidence. Brought to you by Google AI. I want to read your comments in the comment section about that. All right, next article. This is exciting. I mean, insects are cool, but robot insects? Hello. Muscle-inspired elasto-electromagnetic mechanism in autonomous insect robots. Nature.com. Yeah, because that's what everybody wants, is more freaking insects. Look at these things. Soft robots. They could be used for search and rescue, cave discovery, clandestine operations, to spy on people. Oh, it's just a ladybug. Yeah, it's a ladybug sending back 5G to China. Joking. Or am I? Okay, I'm joking. But they'd be using 6G or 7G, not 5G. 5G sucks. So the maximum output force and contraction ratio of animals and autonomous actuators at insect scale, this is what you get. I mean, we all need more insect robots, right? Robot insects. Because have you read the articles about how these weed killers and chemicals and electromagnetic frequencies are actually killing like bees and bee colonies? And I don't know why they're finally admitting it, but maybe it's because of all the information that's being released. But I think we knew this 20 years ago, didn't we? I mean, most people, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out pesticides are bad for bugs. Oh, really? Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. That's why it's called a pesticide. Anyway, I digress. Next article. Scientists transform forever chemicals in water into fluoride with new process. So we go from one nightmare to another. Exposure to a sunlight-activated catalyst broke down 99% of a forever chemical, leaving behind recyclable fluoride. Oh, so it's recyclable fluoride, folks. It's recyclable. Yeah. Forever chemicals, fluoride. You pick. Well, we're going to make forever chemicals into fluoride because we love you so much. But it's recyclable. I mean, come on. So scientists are making progress in addressing the persistent challenge of forever chemicals contamination. A recent study from the University of Adelaide, published in the journal Small, details a new method to break down these chemicals and recover their fluorine content. The study demonstrated that the approach led to the near complete degradation of a common PFAS, achieving a breakdown of approximately 99% of the molecule under optimal conditions. Instead of turning it into fluoride, could you turn it into, like, I don't know, calcium or, I mean, Probably not, but I'm just asking. Is there something else you could turn it into besides fluoride? They're like, no, we love you so much. And they're taking fluoride out of the water, so we want to put it back in. We're just going to convert PFAS. This is a not a very happy article, right? I feel, I don't want to say I feel bad for this person, but it's unfortunate that somebody that joins MIT, probably because they want to change the world and they've got all these high hopes and ambitions. MIT is a pretty prestigious school. Well, MIT student drops out because she says AGI will kill everyone before she can graduate. I was concerned. I might not be alive to graduate because of AGI. Read about it. Futurism, interesting engineering, Yahoo News, Forbes. And I want to talk about that for a minute, because this is like the kind of fear that I had 13 years ago of the singularity. So I don't know if you remember me telling you about that experience that I had on Salvia Divinorum. I've actually had a few experiences, and you could just buy it over the counter in Texas. Like it was, you just go to a head shop and totally legal. And I wanted to have an out-of-body experience. I wanted to have a shamanic experience. So I got some. And I'll tell you what, it freaked me the hell out. I literally think I went to hell. I literally think I went to hell when I did this stuff. So scary. The first experience I had, I did it. And, I had to lay down. I couldn't do anything after for about a minute. And that minute felt like countless lives almost. That minute felt like I was stuck in a time loop where time didn't exist and I wasn't going to be able to get out. And for some reason, I just kept thinking of the singularity. But when I had this experience, I'm in my room, I lay down, and then the next thing I know, there's a whole bunch of other people that are in the room with me. And we're all kind of like laying down. We're all kind of stuck and we're laying down. And then off to the left, I see this massive being, and I didn't know who he was or what it was at the time. Now, I think going back, or now based on the research that I've done, if I was to go back and see it again, I think it was the Yama. If you've ever studied the Bhava Chakra or the Wheel of Life or the Samsara, there's different levels of reality. You've got the animal kingdom, the hell kingdom, the wandering ghost kingdom, the human kingdom, and the demigod kingdom, and then the diva kingdom or realm. You call them whichever you want. And the Yama overlooks all of these realms. The Yama is this massive monster-looking creature or demon-looking creature that is over the wills, like feeding off of all of the energy that is being produced through the yin and the yang, through the positive, the negative, the fear, the excitement, the happiness, the all the different emotions, everything in these wills and these dimensions, the Yama is feeding off of it. Well, when I did that Salvia Divinorum the first time, I remember, once again, I'm laying down, I'm by myself, and then I'm surrounded by all these other people that show up. Like they're in my room too. They're all laying down too, so like they can't really move. There's the Yama, or this massive creature, massive creature, and you're only allowed to move when the wave hits you. So I thought I was like stuck forever, but then the wave eventually got to me, and when it did, I was allowed to move. And this wave reminded me of what it was like in a stadium. If you've ever been to a sporting event where they do the wave and like you're waiting for it to be your turn to do the wave, and then when it's your turn, you're like, yeah. Well, it was could not move unless you're allowed to, and then the wave hits you, and then you're allowed to move. But to make a long story short, the actual experience lasted about a minute. But in my mind, I thought it was going to be forever. Oh my gosh, I'm getting freaked out just thinking about it. And so when I finally break out of it, when I finally broke out of this experience, I thought for some reason, that entity reminded me of like that whole event, because everything was happening at once. My brain couldn't process it all. It was just all there. But I'm visually seeing this environment. And to me, it felt like the singularity. I don't know why. I felt like, I don't know if that thing was, I don't want to say artificial, but I just at that time, I felt like that was the singularity. So it really, really frightened me. Now, whether or not the Yama is some type of creation of synthetic intelligence or just a part of the natural order of the universe or these dimensional experiences that we have, I don't know. But that freaked me out. And I've had a few other experiences on the Salvia Divinorum. I will never do it again. The last experience I had, I was warned not to do it again. And then I was going to do it again 6 months later. And the circumstances that stopped me from doing it again were just unbelievable. Like absolutely 1 in a billion chance to stop me from doing it that night that I was going to do it. And I have, I haven't done it. But anyway, the Salvia Divinorum seemed to take me into some type of hell realm. And then in that realm, it kind of felt like the singularity. And then I'm thinking a bit of Ahriman. And if you studied Ahriman is often linked in ancient Persia to what people would consider in today's day and age like the devil, but he's different. Ahriman is different. Ahriman uses technology to entrap worlds, to entrap planets, to entrap civilizations. And don't you feel something different now versus 20, 25 years ago? Everywhere you go, you're bombarded by, almost everywhere you go, you're bombarded, nanu, by electrical frequencies, different energies, electrical frequencies. What if there's something literally connected to all of these electrical frequencies, all the computers, all the TVs, all the phones, all the data centers, all the artificial intelligence, all connected to the same energy, to the same entity. And it could use all of these forms of technology to enslave humanity. As amazing as it sounds, as great as it can be, and all these things that it will do for you, what is the ultimate price that humanity is giving up to be in this technological makeup? Are we giving up our sovereignty? And did this happen thousands of years ago, like the ancients talked about? They wanted to create a replacement for them because they were working too hard. And some of these stories and mythologies, it describes the gods creating humans to do the work for them, but then they gave those humans a little bit too much power, so they had to suppress the humans because they gave them too much. The parallels that I'm seeing metaphorically are, it's like, here's the glove, put the glove on, put the gloves on. It fits. Man, still spooked out from that experience. And then I had a few other experiences after that that were equally as frightening. One in particular where I felt like I was actually going through these cycles, through the entire will. I might not have hit the diva realm or the demigod realm, but I was definitely going through like the human realm and then potentially the wandering ghost realm down into the hell realm. And as I was going down these realms, it was there are these guardians that were saying, don't come back here, don't come back here. And then as I was coming back up out of the realms, I was saying, I'm not going to come back. I won't come back. But then I was coming back up above in this cycle. I was like, but it's so much fun, man. It's so exciting. It's so great. It's freaking me out, man. So I would not recommend that stuff unless you just want to get the hell scared out of you, or if you want to go visit hell and see what it's like. But anyway, in other news, Finland charges tanker crew members with sabotage of undersea cables. Captain and first and second officers of the Eagle S, understood to be part of Russia's shadow fleet, have been charged over the incident. Finland's Deputy Prosecutor General's office said on Monday it had filed charges of aggravated sabotage and aggravated interference with telecommunications against the captain and first and second officers of the Eagle S. The Cook Islands registered tanker is understood to be part of Russia's shadow fleet, comprising vessels that sail under foreign flags to evade sanctions. Yeah, I mean, a lot of that was going back on, at least publicly, they were telling us about it just a few weeks ago, a couple months ago. Well, now we've got some prosecutions that are taking place, so it isn't all swamp gas from Uranus, is it? The charge is related to the alleged dragging of the ship's anchor for approximately 56 miles across the Gulf of Finland in December of 2024. This action is believed to have severed 5 critical undersea cables, including the Estlink 2 power cable connecting Finland and Estonia, and 4 telecommunication cables. Finnish authorities estimate the damage to be at least $60 million, or actually $70 million in repairs. They also assert that the disruption posed a serious risk to Finland's energy supply and telecommunications. So the captain and 2 officers face charges of aggravated criminal mischief and aggravated interference with communications. But the defense, the accused crew members, deny any wrongdoing. I mean, yeah, man, it's normal to drop, totally normal to drop. Oh, man. Yeah, we dropped our anchor and we pulled it for 56 miles. We had no idea. No wrongdoing here. Whatever. So, did you watch the Trump-Zelensky meeting? That was interesting. I'm not even going to get into that. You know what? Let's just leave that for CNN and Fox and all the other alternative media guys that want to talk about their opinions on this. I mean, I have some stuff to say. Maybe I'll say it on Patreon because I don't want to get into it too much here. Because I got a lot to say on Patreon. Anyway, thanks everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I thank you for being here with me. I thank you for supporting the shows, hitting that thumbs up, sharing the videos, joining the chat, leaving comments. It's great to see y'all. Go through the comments real quick and see if there's any questions I could answer for you, see how everybody's doing. Retro, I will subscribe to your channel. I've seen your sci-fi stuff on Facebook. It's pretty cool, man. You seem very talented. All right. Good to see you all. Really appreciate you all being here. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave it in the comment section because I've got so many that I'm not going to be able to pull through it all before. Count Trumpula says, going immediately to hell is not possible, as hell is not open for occupancy yet. Dude, it was very real for me, buddy. It was wide open. I was there. If that's not hell. Oh, Bad Dog. I have been to Bandelier. I've climbed the ladder. It's awesome up there. I love it out there. Beautiful area. Esoteric Nerd says, Rex, did you hear about the government officials saying that the Florida Bayside Mall video will be released and it was real? No, I would love to see that. I want to believe. Bandelier is in New Mexico. They have some amazing ruins out there, cliff dwellings, petroglyphs. Well, that void, buddy, is, oh man. If you experienced what I experienced, you'd probably say the same thing, Count. You'd probably say the same thing. Anyway, have a beautiful day, everybody, and be the change you want to see. Thank you.